Yo, welcome to Hard Pass. I am your host, Jacques Slade, and it's a new day. Yes, it is. And I would like to address something here at the top right now. It's been weighing heavy on me for the past few days, and there's been a lot of chatter about it on Twitter, so let's just say it and get it out of the way right now. That wasn't me at the inauguration wearing the Dior ones. I was right here at home, shooting Hard Pass with Bernie. Besides, I was already at the 2008 inauguration wearing Diamond Dunks. In 2012, I was rocking the Red Octobers, obviously. All right, let's start with some hot takes. The free 99 dunks are on the way, and it might just be the worst dunks I've ever seen. Not because the mismatched dunks are ugly or anything like that, but because the free 99 nickname is bad and misleading, like those not for resale J's bad. You can't make a statement like that and then put them behind a $120 price tag. I get the irony, but sneakerhead irony? Not so much. What's next? 5-figure discount dunks? So Louis Vuitton showed off their men's fall-winter collection for 2021 by creative director Virgil Abloh. It's not for everybody, but that's always been the case with these luxury brands. They are sneakers that kind of look like FOAMPOSITEs, which, you know, if Nike's cool with it, go off, I guess. But maybe the most standout piece, at least in my eyes, were the inflatable city jackets that look like New York and Paris. I personally cannot wait to see somebody rock these with Dior ones. Oh wait, are mixing luxury brands a no-no, like rocking Jordans with Adidas socks? I need a ruling on this. Can we get a ruling? Last week during HBO Max's preview of their upcoming slate of movies headed to the streaming service, we caught a slight glimpse of Space Jam: A New Legacy starring LeBron James. It doesn't reveal much other than LeBron and Bugs looking freaked out, but now I can't wait for it to actually drop. Still holding out hope for that MJ cameo where he's totally cool with LeBron so all the stands can really just calm the hell down. Apple is reportedly getting ready to introduce VR to the world. Yeah, I said it like that. We all know how this is going to go. Apple is going to have one of their fancy events in Cupertino that I never get invited to. Tim Cook is going to talk about VR like we've never heard of it before. They're going to bring out their designers and engineers to talk up VR like it's new and groundbreaking. The headset is going to look like an iPhone taped to your face, and it's going to be priced like the down payment on a house, and I'm going to buy one like sheep, even though I resisted Oculus and LG headsets for years now because I'm one of those people. And this is a thinly veiled cry for help if you haven't noticed. Help me. And I just want to say I'm sorry to all of my Detroit Lions fans out there because, you know, kneecaps and whatnot.
All right, and so this team's going to be built on, we're going to kick you in the teeth, all right? And when you punch us back, we're going to smile at you. And when you knock us down, we're going to get up. And on the way up, we're going to bite a kneecap off.
Should have hired this guy, but no.
You know what, Harold? Here's the thing. It's always good to be mentioned. And obviously, yes, I do want to be a head coach. But when it's all said and done with, my job is to make sure everything that we're doing right now is not to take away from the goals that we're trying to accomplish. We want to make sure that we're getting our guys ready to make sure they can take care of business on Sunday.
And now for a follow-up to a segment we did last week. Actually, before we do that, I also want to address a few comments in last week's video. So some of you may have noticed that we were kind of hard on Samsung for getting a little too giddy and excited about their new black Galaxy phone like they just discovered the color black. And then we had an advertisement with Container Store about their new black drop front boxes. People took that as maybe us being a little too hypocritical and doing the good old cognitive dissonance. Let me break it down for you. The joke was Samsung was super hyped about the color black like it's the first time they've ever seen it. Meanwhile, our ad was merely saying, hey, Container Store also has black boxes, go check it out. We didn't go into the process of making the color or how it's a different shade of black, which is, wait, a different, what? Anyways, so last week we talked about alleged rapper Blueface who threw around his new sneaker pickups like a sad little baby who didn't get his dessert. This week's sneaker controversy comes courtesy of this video of a guy on Instagram called Saucy Taco, cutting up their Off-White and Air Jordan 5. First of all, what taco isn't saucy? But yeah, he cut up his Off-White 5s and that got people in their feelings. Namely people who didn't get their own pair of Off-White 5s and those who are in stage 1 of the sneaker outrage cycle, which is either A, make hyperbolic statement about the kids, or B, accuse the person who made the video of posting fake kicks. Stage 2 of the cycle comes when the video goes viral, catches on with the blogs, and they post their own take on it, which only heightens the anger. Again, this is what we want to avoid. We need to look at these videos and see if they actually contribute to the discourse or if they are just chaos agents. So last week, the Blueface video was a dumbass clout chase. This video by Saucy is simply a troll job, but at the same time, it's actually what Virgil Abloh, aka the guy who designs these off-whites we all cherish, wants us to do. Like, take a look at the 10 and every subsequent sneaker he has done with Nike. They all look like DIY projects that you at home could replicate with an X-Acto knife and a Sharpie. Virgil actually encourages people to get creative with his shoes and turn them into our own Frankenstein creations. Don't believe me? Here's a video of Virgil cutting up the translucent panels on his own off-white 5s. Now, was Saucy Taco following Virgil's lead? I don't know, and frankly, it doesn't matter. If he wants to make his own pair of Off-White and Air Jordan 5 lows by cutting them up, that's on him. My guess is Virgil would approve of the project. Personally, that's not the technique I would use to cut them up, especially since there are actual Air Jordan 5 lows that you can just buy and customize, but I wouldn't be against cutting out those windows on the Off-Whites or pulling out a Sharpie and writing a special message on them. Maybe if we were a little more accepting of the customization aspect of these Off-Whites, we wouldn't get all worked up whenever the next Saucy Taco type of video pops up. And truth be told, if you're clutching your Off-White 5s like they are precious commodities that can't be sullied or soiled a little bit, you're kinda doing it wrong. All right, let's start with the heat check, where we bring you everything that's dropping this week. First up, we have the Chuck Taylor All-Star Crater on the 27th for $95. These will come in 3 different colorways using the same production technique as the Space Hippie. These trash Chuck Taylors are actually made with literal trash and scraps from Nike's production line, but they are far from trash in that they represent the future of Nike's ethos to creating eco-friendly and sustainable sneakers. I just hope that $95 doesn't represent the future of Chuck Taylors in general. Then we have the Nike Air Foamposite Pro Volt. These drop on the 27th for $230. The iconic Nike color of the early 2010s is back with an electrifying retro. This is a retro of a 2014 release, which makes me feel really old because I was very much deep into this sneaker thing in 2014. Then we have the Ultra Boost 1.0 Solar Yellow on the 27th for $180. Dropping in Asian territories, this is an update to the iconic Solar Yellow Ultra Boost from 2015. It now features an all-over Solar Yellow Volt, maybe Volt, translucent cage and Boost midsole. Hey, remember when Adidas said it was hard to do colored Boost midsoles? I remember that. Then we have the Nike Dunk Low Medium Curry on the 28th for $110 as a curry connoisseur of sorts. Okay. Not really, but I do like a good curry from Coco Ichibanya every now and then. Medium curry just sounds like the middling response you tell your server when you can't decide what you want. I doubt that will hurt the perception or resale value of these, but I feel like these could have had a stronger name, you know? Then we have the Concepts and Converse Southern Flame Pack. This is on the 28th, featuring both the Converse Chuck 70 and the All-Star BB EVO. The idea behind the collab goes all the way back to the origins of the game of basketball when they were using peach baskets for hoops. The colors are based on the fuzzy fruits and its various states of ripeness. Never thought I'd be talking about ripe peaches on this show, but you know, here we are, I guess. We have the Yakuza Remastered Collection on the 28th. This is on Xbox Game Pass. Collecting Yakuza 3, 4, and 5, the Remastered Collection will join Yakuza 0 and the HD remakes of 1 and 2 on Game Pass. Between these games, Yakuza Like a Dragon, and the upcoming arrival of Yakuza 6 on Game Pass, you can basically play the entire series on the Xbox. That's crazy considering all of these games, except for Like a Dragon, were PlayStation exclusives as recently as 2019. Then we have the PSG Air Jordan 1 Zoom Comfort on the 29th for $150. The iridescent swoosh that flashes with a surge of color when you take a picture of them is probably the highlight of the PSG collaboration. It's a nice colorway that I bet would be even more hyped if it was a proper Air Jordan 1 retro. Then we have the Kyrie 7 Rayguns on the 29th for $130. Much like the man himself, these Kyries are coming in hot after a 2-week delay. Let's just hope it's more successful than the first game by the Brooklyn Big Three. Then we have the Jaden Smith New Balance Vision Racer. These are on the 29th for $150. After a few bright colorways, we're getting a more subdued look at Jaden's collab runner with New Balance. It's definitely a nice change of pace if you weren't feeling the earlier releases, and it's also coming in a triple black colorway on the same day. Then we have the Air Jordan 9 University Gold on the 30th for $190. Sure, there are already Jordan 9s in Laker colors, but we'll claim this one too. They would look good matched up with a Black Mamba jersey, I'm just saying. Then we have the LeBron 18 Dunkman on the 30th for $200. LeBron's alter ego makes a comeback with this black and electric green drop. I know Father Time is undefeated and whatnot, but LeBron can still fly like he could as a youngster, so I would love to see him bring this iconic pose as a Laker at some point. And then we have the Yeezy Boost 700 V2 in cream. These are on the 31st for $240. According to Wikipedia, cream is an acronym of Cash Rules Everything Around Me. It was a song by the American hardcore rap group Wu-Tang Clan, released on January 31st, 1994 as the third single from their debut album, Enter the Wu-Tang 36 Chambers. It features verses from members Raekwon and Inspector Deck and Method Man, who sings on the hook. And then my pick of the week is the J. Cole PUMA Dreamer 2. These are on the 28th for 135. PUMA's hot streak continued with J. Cole's second signature shoe. Granted, this yellow and black colorway doesn't give me the casual vibes that the original RS Dreamer had. It might just be a matter of waiting for a different colorway. And now for a heat check on the finale of the highly controversial Nike LeBron vote back on the sneakers app. After a few weeks of consternation from the old sneakerheads about the results of the voting, we now have a winner that in hindsight we should have seen coming. Winning by a slightly decisive margin of 56% of the vote, the Nike LeBron 10 ring ceremony with the gold swoosh will get a launch on the sneakers app in the coming months or years. Who knows how production timelines work these days. Looking at how the bracket was put together, I actually should have seen the clear path that the ring ceremony had to at least the final matchup. But I clearly underestimated a few things, like Miami Heat era LeBron James nostalgia, and overestimated others, like love for Los Angeles Lakers era LeBron James. I was blinded by the possibility of getting either the LeBron 3 Los Angeles remix or the Purple Suede Zoom Generations, and just assumed it would be a slam dunk because, you know, Lakers exceptionalism and whatnot. I forgot that most people outside of LA hate us and our success, so my picks were knocked out early by the rest of the world to prove a point, which, you know, whatever, haters. We'll see y'all in the finals. Bring on Kyrie, KD, and Harden. Anyways, it's hard to truly comprehend now, but Miami Heat LeBron is old school to a certain generation of kids. Personally, I was already out here in these streets in 2011 trying to make this sneaker thing happen. Okay, that's a lie. I was in a room adjacent to my garage filming videos and watching YouTube tutorials all by myself trying to make this sneaker thing happen, but, you know, details. But to kids who were in their formative years during that time, Miami LeBron might be their first basketball hero. They didn't grow up trying to mimic the Michael Jordan jumping from the free throw line dunk or yelling Kobe every time they shot a jumper. Nah, they were setting up hoops next to their unsuspecting friends and dunking on them like LeBron did to Jason Terry.
Chalmers, Cole, James!
Oh, that was nasty. Can we play that again?
Chalmers, Cole, James!
Okay, again.
Cole, James!
Hey, one more time.
Cole, James!
That was like the dunk of the decade, right? It's either him or DeAndre over Brandon Knight. But yeah, Miami LeBron was special. It also feels like it's been longer than a decade now because so much happened to LeBron in the years since. He went back to the Cavs, cemented his legacy by winning a championship there too, arrived here in LA, received some level of consternation from Laker fans, and shut them up after winning us a championship in the NBA bubble a few months ago. LeBron's 4 years in Miami feel like college, and the ring ceremony LeBron 10 is like a symbol from that era that fans who like to have a part of. It's in the same way we never throw away our hoodies with our school on it or that old and faded t-shirt that has a lot of memories attached to it. So I get it. It's still not the way I would have liked to have seen this play out, but I understand. So for the last time, I give the LeBron vote back a perfect 10 out of 10 Dunkmans. But the result, you guessed it, a sad and pathetic one death stare at Mario Chalmers. And like I said, you never ever want to go full Mario Chalmers. All right, it's time for this week's Hard Pass, where we take a look at something in the culture that just needs to go. Like the headline that President Joe Biden's Peloton bike could pose a security risk. What? What's that? A totally normal concern that doesn't have us thinking about corruption, racism, or misogyny? Oh man, it really is a new day. It's not like Peloton isn't gonna jump on this and provide Biden with a modified bike like they did for Michelle Obama. We're back to regular controversies at the White House. Let me know when Joe's wearing a tan suit or some Chicago ones or whatever. But before we move on to the hard pass, I want to address this new day. Yes, we don't have to wake up every morning and see multiple headlines talking about the dumb tweets by our president, but we're not out of the pandemic. The vaccine rollout has been woefully behind schedule. Our economy is tanking, and although staying at home is the best option, there's a mental health cost to being stuck at home that isn't being talked about nearly as much. We don't have to set our outrage meters to 10 every day now, but that doesn't mean we don't hold our leadership accountable because it's the side we favor. We can't stop and we won't stop, but we can slow down just a little bit. Anyway, this week's Hard Pass goes to January 26, 2020. Yep, that day is coming up soon and it still doesn't feel real. Almost a year ago, we lost Kobe Bryant, a legend to sports fans all around the world. We lost Gianna Bryant, a young basketball talent who was looking to bring that Mamba mentality to the women's game. We lost Peyton Chester, Sarah Chester. We lost Alyssa Altobelli, Carrie Altobelli, John Altobelli, Christina Mauser, and Pilot Era Zabayan. People who happened to share Bryant's passion for the game as well. Like, how could we lose people who were so young and still had so much more time to give back? Kobe was in full-on creative mode, telling stories that were slowly inching away from being thinly veiled basketball allegories and into whole new worlds and realms. At the same time, he appeared to be taking his role as an ambassador for the women's game very seriously, and he was going to use the capital he had earned with the fans and hope to transfer it to the enthusiasm for the WNBA. And while we don't know how Gianna would have panned out as a rising star in the game, she was primed to be an influential figure who encouraged young girls to grab a basketball. Would Peyton and Alyssa have become the next Sabrina Ionescu or Asia Wilson? Was Christina Mauser a Pat Summitt or a Gino in the making? I guess we'll never know. You know, there are times when it feels like it was just yesterday that it happened, and there are times when we feel like it didn't happen at all, and that Kobe and Gianna are still here. When we put together Hard Pass and some of our other scripted shows, we actually sometimes find ourselves referring to Kobe in the present tense. We still want to use the laser stares he would give his teammates, the way he would endlessly rag on Smush Parker, the Black Mamba nickname and logo that he shamelessly cribbed from Kill Bill without a hint of irony, and how a kid who grew up in Italy and Philly became the Frank White of Los Angeles. We don't want to think about the days after the crash when we saw grown men in tears talking about him. Jerry West, Shaquille O'Neal, Magic Johnson. Michael Jordan gave us a second crying Jordan meme, but we don't use it because it really reminds us of what we lost. It's not something that I ever thought about out loud, but I always figured in the back of my mind that I was destined to talk to Kobe about shoes forever. At least once a year, he would come out of whatever production meeting or whatever multi-million-dollar creative endeavor he was into to show up for a Nike event that would debut his new shoe, and I would get the chance to talk to him about it. Just to prep, you know, we'd make small talk about how things are going, and then the camera would roll and we would blabber on about his creative process and how he and Eric Avar poured countless hours into creating the latest sneaker masterpiece that guys like DeMar DeRozan or PJ Tucker would wear. Or if those rumors were true and he was planning to leave Nike, then I would get to talk to him about the why and the who and the where his thought process is now. When thoughts creep up, I'll catch myself and say, hey, that's never gonna happen again. And I go about my day. But then when I see a new Kobe Protro, my mind goes back to that place and I forget. It's not easy, you know? At the same time, as we approach this year's anniversary of this tragedy, we shouldn't lose sight of our sadness and how small it is compared to the loss of his real family. They didn't lose a legend or a hero to millions around the world. They lost a father, a husband, a son, and a best friend. That should put our thoughts on that day into perspective a little bit. And the best thing we can do for them is to put that Mamba mentality into our daily lives. Maybe not so much the a-hole parts, but the passion and the drive that Kobe had into becoming the GOAT. We can take that part. Rest easy, Mamba. We'll take it from here. That's going to do it for the show. Thank you guys for watching Hard Pass. I am Jacques Slade. I'll see you next week, but not before I show you a stoat on a trampoline. Yeah, I had no idea what a stoat was either. I'll see you next week. Peace.